Hello functions. Okay, so this was the warm-up that we did in class today, so go make sure you have this in your notes and make sure this is something that you can do. If you have any questions on this, let me know. So when we started this, we rewrote this one as 512 to the 1/3 squared, which can be rewritten as the cubed root of 512 all squared. The cubed root of 512 is 8 squared, which is 64. This one, remember, the negative goes on the, since there's no parentheses and the exponent belongs to the thing that it's closest, the negative goes out front, so we're going to write negative square root of 169, which is negative 1 times 13, which is negative 13. Remember, that negative is like saying negative 1 times that. Now this one, so when we're looking at this, the 3 is odd, which means we can do that, so we're going to do the cubed root of negative 1,331, and all of that is going to be squared. Well, the cubed root of negative 1,331 is, well, negative 11 times negative 11 is a positive 121. A positive 121 times a negative 11 is a negative 1,331. So then we get negative 11 squared. And negative 11 times negative 11, we just said, is a positive 121. So that is the final answer. So even though we have a negative in here, and this is negative, we ended up with a positive solution. Now, so we could do this one because it was on the inside of the parentheses, because that one was odd, but this one is even. So we would rewrite this as the fourth root of negative 50,625, and all of that is cubed. Well, we learned that if this is negative and that is even, there is no real solution. This one was odd, and this is negative, so then we could. All right, so go ahead and get this rule in. I think some of our classes got this on Friday, but if we didn't, here it is. Okay, so basically what this is going to say, so if I were to write this in a different way, if we had 1 over a to the negative m over n, that would equal, we'd move it up top, so that would be a to the positive m over n. So this one shows when it's negative in the numerator, because this is over 1. This is showing what happens when it's in the denominator. You would move it to the numerator. So if it's in the numerator, you move it to, so this was moved to the denominator. If it's in the denominator, you move it to the numerator. All right, so go ahead and get this example in your notes. So because of this negative, we're going to put it in the denominator, and then we're going to rewrite that, right? So we're going to rewrite it as the fourth, or 81 to the 1/4 cubed, which would be the fourth root of 81 cubed. Well, the fourth root of 81 is 3. We get 3 cubed, which is 1 over 27. All right, let's try this one. Well, that's going to be 1 over the square root of 36 squared, or sorry, here we go. And we get 1 over 6 cubed. 6 cubed is 216, so 1 over 216. All right, so this one is a little bit trickier. So this would be the same as saying 64 to the negative 3 over 2 over 25 to the negative 3 over 2. So because this one is negative, this exponent is negative, we're going to move it to the denominator, and since this one is negative, we're going to move it to the numerator. So that's what's right here. And that can be rewritten as 25 to the positive 3 halves over 64 to the positive 3 halves. Okay? So then that means we can rewrite that as the square root of both of those. And again, I like to think of these as their own separate entities. So the square root of 25 cubed over the square root of 64 cubed. Well, the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 64 is 8. So we get 5 over 8, and we need to take this one to the third power. So 5 to the third power is 125. and 8 to the third power is 512. So that is our final answer, and it is fully simplified because if it wasn't, we could have done it earlier. Okay, so now we're going to be going back and forth. So if we have this right here, then we already knew this rule. We knew that we could take the nth root and raise it to the m power. But we also can put that on the inside of the parentheses and find the nth root of a to the m power. So this is just saying that these are all equivalent to each other. So it's just another rewrite. So go ahead and hit pause and make sure you got that in your notes. Now we're talking about when it's in radical form. So make sure this is in your notes because we're going to go back and forth. We're going to go from exponential form to radical form, from radical form to exponential form. So this one is saying that you can rewrite a to the mn as the nth root of a to the m, or like we've been doing, you can take the nth root of a and raise all of it to m. So that is to raise a to the mth power and then take the nth root, or to take the nth root of a and then raise it to the mth power. It depends on the situation that you want to do that. So there we go. So now we're going to convert between radicals and rationals. All right, we already know how to rewrite this. This is my root and that is my power, so I'm going to take the square root of 19. That's it. That's all we're doing on these two slides. How about this one? Well, that's going to be the fourth root of 11 cubed. Fourth root of 11 cubed. Yep. That's it. Okay, so this one. Remember, the exponent belongs to what it's next to. And here it was next to the number, so it's only 19. So it's only going to belong to the x. So the 14 is actually going to go on the outside. So we're going to find the cubed root of x squared 14 times cube root of x squared. So this is a sentence. We've got 5, so we already know that we're going to put the 5 on the outside because it's not in parentheses, but because this is in parentheses, the 2 is going to go under that fifth root. So you have 5 times the fifth root of x cubed minus, because the minus is right here, minus the fifth root of 2x cubed. All right. Oh, we have a negative exponent, and we do not like negative exponents, so we're going to rewrite it. And we're going to put it in the denominator, so because this is all over 1. Write it in the denominator, and there we go. Okay, so we just talked about this. If it's inside the parentheses, if it's totally inside the parentheses, the whole thing is going to go underneath that radical. So we're actually just going to find the cubed root of x squared plus y squared. All right, now we're going to go from radical form to exponential form. So what power would be the square root? Well, it would be 37 to the 1/2. See, we're just working our way backwards. And then this one, I would rewrite it. So I would rewrite it as 9 to the 8 over 4. Well, 8 over 4 isn't fully simplified, so we need to fully simplify that. That goes down to 2, because there's 4 2s and 8s. I'm sorry, there's 2 4s and 8s. So 9 squared, and we're going to get 81. So be careful. Make sure this is fully simplified before you evaluate. And our last one. Well, that would go, if we were to rewrite it, it would be z to the 8 over 8, which would just be z to the first power, which is just z. All right, that was our last slide for today. That is what we covered. If you have any questions, please come to class with questions. Otherwise, have a great day.